Hello, beautiful people. It is me, Tasha K with Goddess Day, and today we are going to spend some time together talking about 5 steps to become a better budgeter. People have this misconception that budgeting is for people who are broke or budgeting is for people who don't have money, and that could not be further from the truth. Budgeting is for people who want to build wealth and are determined to step into their wealth identity. I remember when I was working in corporate America for a Fortune 50 company, and we were managing $100 million budgets. And every single week, I had to be accountable to my budget down to the dollar. So if these Fortune 50 companies can be that meticulous with their money, then I recommend that you do the same. And today, I'm going to show you exactly the 5 things that you need to do to step into that budget identity and create a better budget. The first thing that you have to do in order to become a better budgeter is manage your money mindset. I know that you have heard people talk about the importance of mindset before, but I really want to reiterate and hit home why this is so important. There was a guy named Richard Weissman, and he did an experiment called the luck experiment. And what he did was he gathered a group of people. He asked each one, "Do you think you're lucky?" And they would either respond, "Yes, I think I'm lucky," or they would respond, "No, I don't really think I'm lucky." He basically separated them into 2 groups based on their responses, and then he gave them a task. In this task, he wanted them to count the number of images in a newspaper, but of course, there was a catch. On one of the early pages, let's say the 4th or the 5th page, there was a message in the newspaper, and it said, "Stop reading. There are 43 images in this newspaper." And guess what happened? I really need you to get this, okay? I need you to get how your mindset is impacting how you interact with the world around you. The people who believed that they were lucky were far more likely to see the message, "Stop reading," and then report the number of images. The people who did not believe that they were lucky, they didn't see the message. They kept on working. They kept on trudging through that newspaper, looking for image after image. When you believe that you have the ability to budget, when you believe that your budget is your friend, when you believe that your budget is an opportunity for you to determine the type of financial future that you want to have, you're going to be able to recognize the opportunities that are leading you in that direction. If you don't believe that it's possible, you will not notice the opportunities leading you that way. Okay, so that's number 1. Manage your money mindset. Number 2, start with who you are. If you want to be a better budgeter, you have to start with who you are, and that means being authentic. We talked about this a little bit in one of our previous videos where we went more in depth. That one was called How to Live by a Budget. But now I just want to hit it a little bit to remind you of this principle. In order to create an authentic budget, you have to identify these three things: your personality, your lifestyle, and the way that your brain operates. All of these different things, all of these are going to layer into the type of budget that you create and how you execute this budget. If you're not being authentic to who you really are, you're shooting yourself in the foot before you ever even begin. When it comes to your personality, ask yourself, are you somebody who is very meticulous, or are you somebody who likes to go with the flow? Are you somebody who likes to be more materialistic, or are you somebody who prefers to be more minimalistic? Are you a person who is more outgoing, or are you a person who is more introverted? All of these things are going to impact the things that are in your budget and how you budget. When you're thinking about your lifestyle, do you have a family? Do you have a partner? Do you have a 9-to-5 job or a business, or are you a student? All of these things will play their role in your budget differently. Finally, we're looking at the way that your brain operates. How do you approach goals? How are you able to focus? Do you like looking at the big picture or the little picture? These are all things that you want to consider as you're creating a budget that is authentically you. Number 3, in order to become a better budgeter, you have to create a budget that is realistic in the first place. As you're refining your budget, you'll see that there are some categories that, like, let's say, for example, dining out. That category might start with a number that is higher than you want it to be. Let's say right now you're spending $800 a month dining out, which is not unreasonable for my clients when they first come to me. If you're starting out at 800, we don't want to try to refine that all the way down to 300 as you create the budget that you want to move forward with. Right? That's a big gap. We want to move you to something that could be realistic, even if it's not where you want to end up. So if your initial dining out budget was starting at $800, then maybe we move it to $600 and stay there for a couple months. When you create a budget that is not realistic to the way that your life operates now, and there's too much of a gap, it's not going to work. The fourth thing that I want you to do is anticipate the challenges. Because when you anticipate challenges and you name them and you identify them, they lose their power over you. Do you hear what I'm saying? Just because a challenge is there doesn't mean that it has to have power over you. So when you think about creating this budget, anticipate based on who you are, what are the challenges that you're going to face? If you know every time you pass your favorite fast food restaurant, you normally stop in and get X, Y, and Z, put that on your challenge list and start understanding like, okay, this is going to be a challenge for me. That's the first part, just acceptance. This is going to be a challenge for me. Instead of being in denial and thinking that, no, I got this. I see that happen a lot where people are just like, I got this. I'm not going to have any challenges. And it doesn't work. But you name the challenge, identify it. It no longer has power over you. And you can just accept that you are a human being who is going to bump up against something, and that's okay. And as you accept it, then you can start being comfortable thinking about what is the solution to this. And guess what? As you're working towards this journey to becoming a better budgeter, it is not required that you be perfect. Perfection is not a prerequisite for wealth at all. But guess what is? Progress. Guess what is? Trying. Guess what is? You have to keep going and going and going. This process of refinement is no joke. And even as you refine your budget, you're going to be refining and defining yourself in the process. So you don't have to be perfect. You can stick to your budget 80% of the time. You could stick to your budget 60% of the time. If you stick to your budget 50% of the time, it is going to change the trajectory of your financial future. No perfection required, and I promise you that. The final thing, the fifth and final thing that is required in order for you to become a better budgeter, and notice the word become. This is not just how do you do budgeting better. Okay, this is not just how do I take better actions. This is about how do you become a better budgeter? How do you step into the identity of a budgeter who is determined to build wealth in a holistic way? So you want to manifest your budget potential. That's number 5. So we got the budget plan. You've already created the budget. You're already working towards your budget. We want to manifest your budget potential. We want to see the numbers growing and increasing in your bank account. That's what this is about. Anybody can create a budget. It's a sheet of paper that is sit on a desk, or it's something that you saved on a computer hard drive that's just sitting there. But the real work comes, and how do you actually take these numbers, take this document that you created and breathe life into it so that the things that you said that you want, they become your everyday reality. This is why I do the work that I do, because I know how to turn budgets into reality, where so many people around me, I see them have goals. I see them have things that they want to do. They have hopes and dreams and ambitions, but I noticed that the reality hardly ever changes. People believe that budgeting is about numbers, and budgeting is very little about numbers. Primarily, it's about what are you doing on a day-to-day basis. That's what budgeting is about. And so If you enjoyed this video and you know that you want to manifest your budget potential, you know that you have the financial potential and you really want to be able to manifest that, and you're ready to do that right now, and you know that your budget isn't just something that you have to do, it's something that you want to do to become this better budgeter, to become this wealthy individual, to claim your financial destiny. If that is something that matters to you, then I recommend that you take a look at our Wealth from Scratch course. That is a course that I am extremely proud of. And we start with the identity of the budgeter and help you to create financial systems that center who you are and allow you to be the author of your financial story. And once we do that, then we put the systems and the structures in place that allow the money to start pouring in. And if you know the money is there, then you know what I mean when I say the money could start pouring in right now. If the money isn't there, it might be that we have to look at your income, and that's something that we will absolutely do. But every single person has the potential to reach their financial destination. There's nothing that can stand in your way once you make the decision to do that. So I look forward to you checking that out and potentially meeting you on the other side. All right. And with that being said, you already know what it is. You are not helpless, hopeless, or powerless. In fact, you are powerful beyond measure, and you have everything that you need to take your finances to the next level. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Gotta stay.